Hi, my name is Latoya Shepherd, and I want to discuss the topic that I have chosen, which is occupational health, which is also affiliated with healthcare administration. In the healthcare field, it has a lot of perks, and it has a lot of not so good perks. You can either, the way I see it in the healthcare field, you can either lose or you can gain in this field. It's just all about a perception of how you take it. But I'm going to start with my presentation. And first I want to start off with the proposed policy about the occupational health. And my intake on this is you can learn from it. It has a lot of vital information in it. So let's start off by talking about the proposed policy. The board authority to impose a penalty is provided by Section 196(1) of the Act, which provides the following criteria. 1. The employer has failed to take sufficient precautions for the prevention of work-related injuries or illnesses. Now let's speak of that. When an employer has failed to do his or her job, then it does not bring just you down. It messes up your patient and it brings the whole hospital down because of your lack of work and effort. Number 2, the employer has not complied with this part, the regulations, or the applicable order. 3, the employee's workplace or working conditions are not safe. That is an OHS penalty, and we're going to get into that subject later. Considering the appropriateness of an OHS penalty, in keeping with Section 1963 of the Act, the current policy lists the following as one of the considerations prior to administering a penalty: whether the employer has otherwise exercised due diligence to prevent the failure of noncompliance or conditions to which the penalty relates. The proposed policy does not specifically list due diligence. It discusses whether the employer knew or should have known about the hazard, the act or the regulations, and about the effectiveness of the employee's approach to health and safety. Which moving on about social control and environmental health. Workplace fatalities, injuries, and illness remain at the unacceptably high levels and involve an enormous and unnecessary health burden, suffering, and economic loss. And we have those all combined in the healthcare field. All these things persist in the healthcare field when you don't have compliance and you don't have a strategic plan of how to do things in the healthcare field. The present plan of an action deals with All aspects of workers' health, including primary prevention of occupational hazards, protection and promotion of health at work, employment conditions, and a better response from health systems to workers' health. It is underpinned by certain common principles. The main functions of the board are to give effect to the decisions and the policies of the World Health Assembly, to advise it, and generally to facilitate its work. Social control compromises a form of regulatory action resulting from a popular participation in state agencies and government actions. Why is this so? It aims at ensuring that public policies are planned in order to respond to social needs and their programs are met according to what was agreed. In this healthcare field, or in any healthcare field, social control has materialized with the creation of the National Health System, which brought amongst its operational guidelines popular participation, and etc. Later in the 1990s, the Law 8, Section 142 was passed, the so-called Health Law, which provides the operational levels of social control as well as health boards and conferences. The health councils are collegiate agencies with a deliberative nature which create public policies at all of 3 government levels. In occupational health field, national conferences of occupational health were created as well. In the occupational health field, 3 national conferences of occupational health, social controls plays a major role with regard to occupational health, because which is materialized in the health councils and conferences provide workers organized and represented with the possibility to claim for better working conditions. The relationship established between social control and occupational health is involved with the environmental approach to health because it compromises knowledge about the complexity of the world. It is worth providing a reflection on the socio-environmental approach to social control and occupational health. Why do so many people ask this question, and why is it so important? Environmental health in the occupational health field compromises a scenario of social practices, need, and the possibilities that work leads to the principles of environmental rationality. The environment provides the conditions needed for quality of labor and life among workers. When we speak of the need to build knowledge, it is worth remembering to take into account the political, economic, and cultural content where the subjects are inserted and their everyday life knowledge. So it is good and it's a must to have this knowledge in the occupational health, in the healthcare field. In conclusion, it is to discuss whether the employer knew or should have known about the hazard or the act of regulations and about the effectiveness of the employee's approach to health safety. Again, with the board authority to impose a penalty, the employer has to comply with all 3 sections of this board authority. Thank you. And that is the plan proposal of an occupational health.